Terezinha was born in Belo Horizonte, in a city in the southeast region of Brazil. The town's name, Beautiful Horizon, was given because it was surrounded by mountains when it was established. Over the years, it spread over the mountains and now has 3 million inhabitants and is the 6th city of Brazil. Her father, Luís Gonzaga Nunes, and her mother, Samirias Oliveira Nunes, moved to Belo Horizonte after their wedding. Her mother was a primary school teacher and stopped teaching after her wedding to be entirely dedicated to her family. Her father was an actuary. When he graduated from the Universidade Federal de Minas Gerais, he was awarded a gold medal for his extremely distinguished performance in the university. Her parents lived long and happy lives. Her mother lived to the age of 99, and even though she suffered with Parkinson's disease for the last 20 years of her life, she never stopped showing her love for her family. Her father lived to 101 and was always active and generous. Terezinha grew up in a large family and was the 5th of 6 children. She thought it an advantage to be in this family position. Her siblings taught her a lot and opened many doors for her. The siblings have remained close to each other and periodically take photos in a similar pose and in birth order as a memento of the family meetings when they are all together. Because Terezinha moved away from Belo Horizonte in 1978, these were always very special family occasions. Terezinha attended a Catholic school during her primary school years, the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and her undergraduate degree in psychology was from the Universidade Federal de Minas Gerais in 1970. She later received a Fulbright studentship and went to do a PhD in psychology at the Graduate Center, City University of New York. And there she met David Carraher, where they married whilst doing their PhDs. She returned to her hometown in 1976 and taught in the Federal University of Minas Gerais for 2 years. In 1978, she moved to Recife, in the northeast of Brazil, where she worked for 14 years at the Federal University of Pernambuco. Terezinha and David had 2 children, Daniel and Julia. While in Recife, they worked together on several research projects, many of which were in collaboration with their colleague Ana Lucia Schliemann, and are collected in the book Street Mathematics, School Mathematics, published by the Cambridge University Press. The research about street mathematics was first published in Portuguese. Terezinha also did research on literacy and was awarded by the Brazilian Society for the Advancement of Science a prize for the best monograph on literacy and poverty in 1984. An abridged version was later published as a book chapter. She was also the recipient of a Medal for Outstanding Services rendered to the education by her research, awarded by the Foundation in Support of Students from the Brazilian Ministry of Education in 1985, and of a National Award for Outstanding Research in Education, awarded by the National Institute of Education and Research, Brazilian Ministry of Education in 1988. Terezinha moved to England in 1990, where she worked for 1 year at the Open University and for the next 10 years at the Institute of Education in London, where she received the title of Professor of Child Development and Learning. During this time, her research focused on how children learn literacy and mathematics, publishing books and journal articles, many in collaboration with her second husband, Peter Bryant. Conversations with her colleagues at the London Institute of Education, Celia Hoyles and Richard Noss, were a continuous support of inspiration, even though they did never publish together. Terezinha moved to Oxford Brookes University in 2000 and received a British Academy Research Readership. This research was published in the book Teaching Mathematics to Deaf Children. Subsequently, she moved to the University of Oxford, where she continued to collaborate with Peter Bryant on research on literacy and mathematics learning. While working in English universities, Terezinha supervised 31 doctoral students to completion, 5 as co-supervisor, and over 50 MSc students. She thoroughly enjoyed teaching and supervising the students. She has given invited plenary lectures to many conferences, such as the PME in Hungary in 1988 and ICME in Tokyo in 2000. Also, the Brazilian National Association of Mathematics Education in Rio de Janeiro in 2000, the International Conference on Children's Rights in Education, Victoria, Canada, 2001, the European Association for Research in Learning and Instruction in 2006, and the International Congress on Deafness, Communications and Learning in Barcelona in 2010. The Greek Association of Research on the Didactics of Mathematics in Athens in 2013, and AMBL, the Swedish National Centre for Mathematics Education, Sweden, Gothenburg, 2016. The International Conference on Teaching Deaf Learners in Amsterdam in 2017, and the International Commission for the Study and Improvement of Mathematics Teaching in Braga, 2018. The Southern African Association for Research in Mathematics, Science and Technology Education at the Nelson Mandela University in 2020, and Espace Mathématique Francophone Benin in 2022. In 2017, she was awarded the Freudenthal Medal. Her awardee plenary lecture was given online to ICME with the title From Thinking in Action to Mathematical Models. And in 2018, she was awarded an honorary doctorate by the University of Szeged. After becoming an emeritus professor, Terezinha continues to publish and to work as a consultant with Oxford University Innovation. Her current project with Gabriel Stylianidis and myself, Louise Matthews, involves developing an online course to prepare teachers to implement in the classroom a programme found effective in promoting children's mathematical reasoning. Terezinha will now tell us about the modules that compose her unit for ICME Award.
My name is Terezinha Nunes, and I'm very pleased to be presenting this series of modules about my research in the last 30 years. I was awarded the Freudenthal Medal in 2017, but it took quite a bit of time for me to be able to prepare the modules. Today is the 15th of May 2023. Now I will describe very briefly the main themes of the different units. So the first unit will be on street mathematics, and it was a phenomenon that we first wrote about in 1982. It was first described in Portuguese, and then in 1985, the first English publication appeared. It wasn't the beginning of my professional life, but I would say it was an aha moment for me. The second unit is about informal proportional reasoning, and it will, like the first one, draw largely on the research on informal mathematical knowledge and how it's developed. In the third module, I start to talk more about how these ideas connect to school mathematics, and the work that presentations will become slightly more theoretical. And Module 4 focuses in particular on the theories behind these ideas, not as they were in our minds at the start of the research, but the conclusions to which we came at the end of 30 years of research. And there is much less on empirical research. I hope you will enjoy going through the modules, and you will find them interesting and useful for your work.